Just because you have an online course doesn't mean you are ready to sell. Unless you have a killer sales page, no one is going to buy. So what I thought I would do today is walk you through a simple process you can follow to write your next sales page in just 60 minutes. It's not going to be overwhelming, it's not going to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be long, but I want to give you a framework you can use to write a killer sales page in less than an hour so that you can get on to what you want to do, which is selling a lot of copies of your course. Let's discuss. Welcome to episode 106 of The Graham Cochrane Show, where I'm here to help you build your online business, work less, and live and give more. I'm your host. Who else? Graham Cochrane. Pumped to hang out with you today. Are you doing well? I hope you are. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate you as well. Just grateful to spend some time with you and grateful that you would even listen to this show. It's so exciting to hear and see what kind of success you're having with this content and the businesses that you're building and the lives you are creating. So I'm pumped for you. We're going to talk about sales copy today, which is something I really, really love. I'm going to walk through a simple framework you can use to really quickly, this is like the quick and dirty. If you need to write a sales page fast, then this episode is for you. I also want to give you a resource before we dive in that will help you with sales copy if you have a little more time and really want to study sort of the nuances of what makes killer sales copy. I have a 9-step sales copy formula that I teach a lot of my students. And what I've done is put together a simple PDF that I want to give you for free that walks you through a simple framework. I call it my 5-minute sales copy framework. It's a bunch of questions that the guide asks you that you can just answer really quickly in the next 5 minutes. And then those answers become somewhat of an outline or template for your sales page. It's another way of doing this. And it's a super helpful resource. So you should have it. It's free. I want you to download it. Just go to grahamcochrane.com/copy, COPY, grahamcochrane.com/copy to get my 5-minute sales copy framework. I think that'll give you a really good deep dive into how I think about sales copy. And then you can hold on to that, use it, reference it whenever you're ready to sell. But what I thought I would do in today's episode is give you the quick and dirty. Like if you just need to launch something fast, it could be that you want to launch coaching. It could be that you want to promote an affiliate product for somebody else. It could just be that you have a great idea and you want to launch it right now and you don't want to get stuck overthinking sales copy and just writing something mundane and boring. These are the key points you need to hit, and it literally is only going to take you 60 minutes. So if you're a perfectionist, it might take you longer because you're going to be stuck tweaking the font size, and I'm sorry. But for the rest of us, I think you can get this done in 60 minutes. And the whole point is to show you what truly makes something sell and what doesn't. So what I'm going to walk through is some key elements, and then you can see how this all goes together. So in the 60 minutes, really the first 20 minutes, if you go, most of what I'm going to teach you, you can do in the first 20 minutes, which is just outlining. I never want you to start like writing. You always want to start with an outline because that takes the pressure off. You don't have to have the specifics. You don't have to have the right words necessarily. You just have to know the key elements that are necessary for your sales page so you can move quickly and get those key elements. And then you feel like you've got a roadmap that you can follow to just flesh out the details. So if you have 60 minutes, and if it's a pie, 60 minutes to write the sales page, then 20 minutes or 1/3 of the pie is going to go to the outline. And the remaining 40 minutes is just fleshing out the specifics, writing out more stuff. Okay. So let's start with the most important part of your sales page. And that's the promise. What is the promise of your product? If it's an online course, what is the promise of your online course? Meaning somebody buys it, they take it. What do you promise it will do for them? Now, some people hate this word promise because they say, well, Graham, I can't guarantee them anything. Well, of course you cannot. You can't control a lot of things. If somebody buys your course, the first thing you can't control is whether they ever open it up and watch a single ounce of your video content. Can't control that. Even if they watched every single video, you can't control whether they're going to act on any of it. And even if they act on it, you can't control every other facet of the thing they're trying to act on: life, their talent, their opportunities, the economy, whatever. So of course you can't promise in terms of the word like this is guaranteed to happen for you. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, if someone were to watch your course, if someone were to implement your course, what would the majority of your students be able to do? What success would the majority of your students who act in good faith and take action on the material in your course see happen in their lives because of your course? That's the promise. Okay, so for example, I have a membership site here called Graham's Six-Figure Coaching Community. It's awesome. You should check it out. But the promise of that membership is a thriving community of like-minded entrepreneurs and step-by-step guidance from a seven-figure business owner to help you reach $100,000 a year or more in your online business. Okay, so what I'm promising is the community, the coaching, and the accountability to help them reach $100,000 a year. That's kind of the promise of that membership. Your promise for your course is one sentence. What will your course or membership or coaching do for your student? What will it do for them? Not what is it? A new course on blah, 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 blah. My membership site. Great. Like, not what it is. What will it do for them? One sentence. The promise of your product. The most important part of your sales pitch. This might take you the longest to write. It might take you 20 minutes to write this. Hopefully, by the time you film the course, you've already outlined it. You know the promise of the course. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made the course. This kind of takes us back, and this is what I teach my students in my course, Automatic Income Academy, is you never just build a course because you want to and you think you should. You research, you find out what people need, what they're struggling with, what pain points they have, and then you go build a solution for that pain point. So in theory, you should already know when it comes time to the sales page what the promise of your course is. But maybe you've never put it together in one sentence. This promise will literally be the headline on your sales page. It'll be the hook on your sales page. It's just one simple sentence that makes the promise. Very, very important, most important. So write down one sentence that's the promise of your product. Second thing, who is it for? This can be one word or one sentence. Busy dads who struggle with weight loss. Like if you are a fitness instructor and you help men, specifically dads, lose weight and they're busy, like that's who your course would be for. Busy dads who struggle with weight loss. Okay, going back to my membership, the Graham Six-Figure Coaching Community, my membership is for online business owners who want to grow or scale their business to six figures or more. So it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing creative here, but you have to know who it's for yourself because that needs to be communicated on your sales page. People need to know, is this for them or not, based off of, are they the target market or not? So we've covered the promise of your product in one sentence. Who is it for? And the subtext of there is, who is it not for? It's okay to be clear about that. For example, with my membership, Graham's Six-Figure Coaching Community, I tell you it's not for you if you've never launched your online business. You should probably take my course, Automatic Income Academy. That course is designed to go from zero to launching your first online course, your digital product, and creating passive income. Okay? So if you've never done that, you're really not going to benefit a lot from the community. I mean, you will, but you're over here. So it's not really for you. It's for people who are already making $500 to $1,000 a month in their online business, is something I talk about in the sales copy. So who is it for? Who it's not for. Next, these are just bullet points. What problem or pain are they facing? What problem or pain are these people facing? The people who your product is for. So if we're going back to a fitness example, if it's for busy dads who struggle to lose weight, then the problem or the pain is they are overweight, they want to lose weight, and they don't have time to go to the gym or do a strenuous workout routine. That's the problem. Then really, when it comes to selling, you always want to understand the problem underneath the problem. So there's like the external problem. They want to lose weight and they're too busy to work out. There's the internal problem. What is the extra weight mean for them, and what's the shame under there, or they feel insecure about their looks, or they don't feel attractive with their spouse, or maybe they're afraid they won't even be able to get a date if they're single, or what's that fear, internally, and what solution, like what would life look like if that pain went away? How would they feel with that pain removed? These are all things you want to have in your head as you just write down the pain, the problem they're facing, both the obvious external pain and maybe the not so obvious internal pain. Bullet points. Okay, so far, what's the promise of your product, right? That alone should sell it, or at least pique curiosity. Promise of your product, who's it for, what problem or pain are they facing? Next, what story will you be able to tell, even briefly, about you discovering a solution to this problem? Story, right? Donald Miller, his book, Building a Story Brand, is all about this concept. But even if you just weave in a little bit of storytelling, people want to buy a course or join a membership from someone who has been there. Who, like, if I want to climb to the top of this mountain, I want to follow a guide, someone who's actually been to the top of the mountain, come back down from the mountain, and is not looking down on me as holier than thou, is looking at me eye to eye saying, hey, do you want to go up there too? Come with me. I can show you the way. I can be your guide, to use some of Donald Miller's language, right? So you're not trying to tell a story of your greatness in your sales copy. You're just trying to tell a story of your humanity, how you once struggled with the same problem, or how you have helped so many people who do struggle with the same problem, and you discovered a solution. You identified their struggle, you affirmed their pain, like, man, that sucks. And you know what? I found a better way. So for example, when I sell my course, Automatic Income Academy, there's a story of my struggle to find purpose and meaning in my work. I hated day jobs. I hated the career path I was on. I lost my job. I was on food stamps. Things were not going well career-wise for me. People can identify with that pain. And then I stumbled on this whole knowledge, commerce, digital entrepreneurship, online course space. It was a happy accident, I tell people. I wasn't looking for it. I didn't know it was a thing. I stumbled into it and found an entirely new way of making a living. Not only making a living, but not having to work 40 hours a week. Heck, I only have to work 5 hours a week to generate a 7-figure income. But this is a story I'm telling people. People go, oh, he's been where I've been, hating his work, being unemployed, being scared, feeling like a failure, not knowing what he's doing. And then look what he discovered. He discovered a new way of making a living through content, through online courses. It's a relatively passive income business model. That's cool. That's your story of finding a solution. Your story of struggle, maybe, or of others' struggles, if you never struggled with that thing, and then finding a solution. Do not skip this part. I've seen too many sales pages that want to skip this. They have a good hook. They know who it's for. They know what pain it's for. Then they get right into the course. There's a huge missed opportunity if you don't tell the story of how you've arrived at a solution, because two things are happening in that story. One, people need empathy. They need empathy. They need to know that you understand their pain and were there yourself. So much more powerful. And then two, people don't buy products, they buy solutions. So before you can position or posit your course or your membership as their solution to their problem, you have to tell the brief story. It doesn't have to be long. The brief story of how you discovered a solution, and then you happen to have packaged it into an online video course or a membership or a coaching package. They're not wanting to buy a course. Just like nobody wants to buy a book. I'm writing a book, or I've written a book. Nobody's going to want to buy my book, like the paper, as much as they want to buy the insights and the solutions and hopefully the wisdom contained within, because it will lead to life change. Do you see the difference? The book is just the format. It's just the medium. So the same is true with your course. Nobody wants a course. Nobody wants to be part of a membership as much as they want the solution. So that's why when you transition from the promise to the person this is for, to the pain they're experiencing, to your story of transformation or struggle leading to, hey, you found a solution. That's what they're interested in, is a solution. So then when you announce the product, name of your course or your membership, they're like, okay, fine. He's packaged his solution into this thing. That's fine. That's fine. I'll buy the thing. You see where we're going with this? They really want a solution. They don't want your course. And it's important to get them from your story of struggle to your solution and then associate that with your product. This is now the first time that you're actually really mentioning the product in any detail, is at this stage of the sales copy. And when you get to this stage, you can obviously explain what it is, but just for purposes of this outline, all you need are 10 to 15 benefits that they'll receive from going through your course or your membership or your coaching. So then now at this point, you're getting more specific, not what's included. This is different than what's included. Like there's 15 modules and you get PDF downloads and you'll get weekly office hours. No. I'm talking about benefits. For example, when you go through this course, you're going to learn how to discover your profitable business idea. You're going to learn my 3-step profitability framework. That's a cool benefit. You're going to know how to create income or revenue automatically, whether you're working or not. You're going to discover a 9-step sales copy formula that helps you sell anything to anyone at any time. You're going to know the best tools to use for your online business. You're like, whatever it is, like I'm giving you benefits of my course, Automatic Income Academy, but you have to think through from a benefit lens, what are the 10 to 15 big benefits that your students are going to get from going through your course? So just bullet. A little tip I try to teach people is if you've got a good benefit, you can stack it with another benefit and make it really, really juicy. An example I use is, let's say I'm teaching how to play guitar. I want to teach you how to play guitar. So one of the benefits is you're going to learn how to play your favorite song on guitar without having to learn to read sheet music. So that's one benefit. You're going to learn how to play your favorite songs on guitar with another benefit without having to learn to read sheet music. Those are 2 benefits stacked together. Okay? 10 to 15 benefits of the product. Just bullet it out. And finally, and this is so important too, and so many people miss this. And I think because they're not confident enough to say it, but you know it to be true. What is at stake for the student if they don't purchase your product? What is at stake for your student if they do not purchase your product? This is not guilt or shame. This is not manipulation. This is just you caring for them and their success. And they might know this instinctively, but your job as a copywriter and as a marketer, which is what you are for your own products, is to remind them what's at stake if they don't buy. Because you've spent the entire sales page showing what's going to happen if they do buy. The promise, the benefits, right? Remind them at the end, now they've had plenty of time to look it over, see what it's all about, see if it resonates with them. Look, again, they're going to buy if they want to buy or not. Like, you can't make them buy. Your job with sales copy is to speak to their pain, one human to another, and show them that you have a solution, and this is what they're going to get. The benefits, not features, the benefits they're going to get if they buy your solution. They decide whether or not they can afford it. They decide whether or not now's the right time. They decide whether or not they're the right target market. It's all up to them. But your final job is to communicate to them what's at stake if they don't buy. So for example, with my Automatic Income Academy course, at the end of that sales page, I say, look, you already know what's going to happen if you buy. 6 months from now, you're going to have launched your online business. These things are going to happen. I've just talked about these. If you don't buy, your life's going to be the same. You're going to still be doing work that you probably don't love. There might still be an income cap. Your time is going to be spent and spoken for by somebody else. And you're going to still wonder, could I have started a business? Could I have been doing work that I truly love Could I have bought back more of my time? This isn't guilt. This is just stating the obvious. Like, look, you're clearly here, clearly reading this. You don't say this, but you're reading this for a reason. You want something better. If you don't buy, this is what's at stake. You're going to miss out on X, Y, and Z, and your life's going to kind of be the same. And that applies to pretty much anything that you're selling. So this can be a one sentence, this can be a one paragraph. It's kind of like a final, I call it future pacing. Like you're looking out to the future. There's the future if you do purchase and the future if you don't purchase. And all you're doing is gently reminding them, here's what's at stake if you don't purchase. Here's what's at stake if you don't take action, massive action and change. That's it. I took time to explain all this to you, but in review, these are only 6 things that I'm talking about here that if you just bulleted these out, if you had 20 minutes, and I want you to go fast, because if you overthink it, you miss the point of it. You know in your heart that your course is going to help people. Otherwise, you wouldn't build it. You know in your heart what is good about your course. You might be insecure and lack confidence. I get it. I still do to this day. That's because you're human. You have a pulse. You're not a robot or egotistical maniac. But you know you can help people. If you've put out one YouTube video or one podcast or one blog post that one person was like, oh my gosh, this was helpful, you've helped people. You know you can help people. So you know that. That being said, sit down for 20 minutes and just answer these 6 questions. What is the promise of your product in one sentence? Who is it for? What problem or pain are these people facing? What is the simple story of your struggle with the same pain and how you arrived at a solution? What are the 10 to 15 big benefits your student's going to receive if they purchase your product? And finally, what is at stake if they don't purchase? Take 20 minutes to bullet those things out. Then, if you do that on a Google Doc, just create space in between each bullet point and take the next 40 minutes to quickly write them up in more depth. Fill in the gaps, the transition paragraphs or sentences, but don't make it long. Sales copy doesn't have to be long. If you're touching on these 6 things, you're going to be fine. Again, this isn't going to be the most fleshed out sales page of all time, but it's going to get the job done. It's a quick and dirty 60-minute sales page. And then if you got time, you can format it, make it pretty. You could throw in some pictures. You could shoot a 2-minute video just saying, hey, here's the promise of the product. Here's who it's for. Here's what pain it solves. And then read down below to get the rest of the information. That's it. Put that up. If you're on Kajabi, use one of their templates, fill in the gaps, link it to your product, and you're good. Like, you could write this in an email and it would sell. If formatting doesn't matter, video doesn't matter, pictures doesn't matter, because if this were an email, this could be a simple email that could sell your product. You see what we've done here? It's really just taking what you know to be true and giving it some structure and just going for the meat. None of the fluff, the meat. There's other stuff we can add in there that will really help, but this is like the meat. And I wanted to give that to you. That's it. So, as I'm wrapping this up, my question for you is, because I want you to do this. So if you have something you need to sell, I want you to put on your calendar 60 minutes to write this up. Okay, so maybe you'll need to add it to Kajabi or your backend at some point. Maybe you'll want to format it later. But I want you to block off this week 60 minutes to do this exercise. 20 minutes to bullet out the answers to those questions, and then 40 minutes to flesh it out. So that's your homework, is to find 60 minutes this week to write a sales page for one of your products that you need to write it for. The question I have for you is, which of these little elements that I addressed here in this episode is missing from one of your sales pages or needs to be heightened? Is it the promise? Is it missing entirely, or is it pretty weak? Is it who it's for? Did you not make that explicitly clear? Or are you just assuming they understand who it's for? Is it the problem or the pain? Is it the story of you finding a solution and struggling till you got to the top of the mountain, as it were? Is it the benefit bullets? Or is it what's at stake for them if they don't purchase? Which of those 6 elements do you feel is weakest or missing entirely in your current sales copy for one of your products? Leave a comment below if you're watching on YouTube. I'd love to know. And again, just to continue to throw so much goodness at you, if you didn't already, download my 5-minute sales copy framework, which covers a lot of this stuff and goes into a little bit more depth about some other things you might want to include in your sales page. Again, it's sort of a question and answer guide. You answer the questions, and it gives you more meat for your outline for your sales page. You might find that helpful as well. A little bit longer in terms of like what your sales copy will look like as opposed to this quick and dirty, but it's helpful. It's free. You might as well take it. It's my 5-minute sales copy framework guide, and it's just at grahamcochrane.com/copy, C-O-P-Y. grahamcochrane.com/copy. Don't say I don't give you goodness for free. I'm trying to just like load you up with as much helpful content that you can actually take action on so that you go make money in your online business, because I want you to succeed. And I know you can. I love this stuff. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in a comment below if you enjoyed this episode. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave me a review. Especially if you're an Apple Podcast, leave me a review. Give me 5 stars, please. And leave me a review and let me know that you're listening to this episode, that you enjoyed it. I read every single one of those reviews. It means a ton. And I appreciate you listening. This is fun. I'm here for your success, and I'm excited to hear about your progress with sales copy. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you on another episode real soon.